In the quaint embrace of our small town, life had a rhythm as predictable as the ticking of the old clock in the town square. Folks greeted each other by name, and every face was familiar, every story known. It was a place where history lingered in the air, whispering tales of yesteryears through the leaves of ancient oaks that stood guard like timeless sentinels. My name is Tommy, and alongside my son Austin, I've tended to this town's folks in life and in death. As coroners, we've borne witness to the frailty of life, the certainty of death, and the silent stories told by those who have passed. Ours was a sacred duty, a commitment to the truth, and a service to the peace of the departed and the solace of the living. But there are times when the fabric of reality frays, and the threads of the known world unravel into the inexplicable. It was during such a time, under a sky burdened with ominous clouds, that our town's rhythm was disrupted by an event as unsettling as it was unfathomable. It began with the arrival of a body, an enigma shrouded in silence, bearing no witness to its own demise. This was no ordinary task, no regular day at the morgue. This was the beginning of a tale so woven with mystery and dread that even now, as I recount these events, a shiver courses through my bones, a reminder of the darkness that once descended upon our small town. As you venture into this tale, remember, what you're about to read is not just my story, but a testament to the fragility of our understanding, a narrative of the secrets that lurk in the shadows of silence, and the price one pays when those secrets yearn to be heard. Welcome to the journey of the secrets of the silent corpse. But be forewarned, for some truths are better left unearthed, and some secrets. They cling to your soul, whispering, long after you wish you could forget. It was a Tuesday when the stillness of our morgue was disrupted by the sudden clamor of the police radio. Officer Jennings, a man not easily rattled, stood at our door, his face etched with lines of concern that were foreign to his usual demeanor. "Tommy, Austin, we've got a situation," he announced, his voice betraying a hint of urgency that set my nerves on edge. A body had been found at the edge of the woods, he explained, a place where the shadows whispered secrets of their own. No identification, no apparent injuries, and most unsettlingly, no known cause of death. As we followed Jennings to the scene, I couldn't shake off the unease that clung to my skin like the morning mist. Austin, with his youthful curiosity, asked questions that echoed my own thoughts. Who was this person? What chain of events had led them to their silent end in our small town? The body lay on the cold steel table, a silent enigma wrapped in the sterile embrace of our morgue. As Austin and I donned our gloves, the air seemed to thicken, charged with a palpable tension. We exchanged a glance, an unspoken agreement that this was unlike anything we'd encountered before. The body's features were unremarkable, yet it was the very absence of anything remarkable that unnerved us. No scars, no signs of struggle, just an eerie calmness that seemed to mock our efforts to uncover its secrets. As we proceeded, our instruments felt clumsy in our hands, as if reluctant to reveal what lay beneath the silent facade. Word of the mysterious body spread through the town like wildfire, igniting a mixture of fear and fascination. The diner buzzed with hushed theories and wild speculations. Was it a crime concealed by an expert hand, or something more sinister, a tale spun from the threads of our town's darkest folklore? In the midst of this turmoil, Austin and I remained the eye of the storm, a calm center in a whirlwind of questions. But within us, the seed of unease had been planted, its roots entwining around our resolve, whispering that this was just the beginning of a journey into the unknown. As the day faded into the ink of night, our small morgue became a beacon of light against the encroaching darkness. And within its walls, the silent corpse lay in wait, a puzzle begging to be solved, a story yearning to be told. The morning light spilled reluctantly into the morgue, casting long shadows that seemed hesitant to touch the body on the table. Austin and I approached our task with a methodical calm, but each incision, each measurement, felt like a question asked in a language we didn't speak. The body, in its silent repose, was a riddle wrapped in the mystery of its own existence. As I noted the particulars, the age we estimated to be mid-30s, the gender seemingly male, the physique unremarkably average, it was the anomalies that whispered the loudest. Organs not quite where you'd expect, as if rearranged by a designer with a macabre sense of humor. Skin, pale and flawless, save for the faint, almost imperceptible symbols that seemed to dance just beneath the surface, visible only when viewed from the periphery of vision. Austin, with a youth's keen eye and a mind untainted by the cynicism of experience, noticed it first. "Dad, look at this," he murmured, his voice a mixture of fascination and dread. It was a pattern, a sequence etched into the very essence of the body before us, a message or a code, we couldn't tell. The air in the morgue grew heavy, thick with the unspoken tension that hung between us. Each revelation seemed to deepen the mystery, leading us further into the labyrinth of the unknown. The body, a silent sentinel, offered no guidance, its secrets locked beneath a veneer of impenetrable calm. It was then that the peculiarities escalated. Tools seemed to move of their own accord, slipping from our hands and clattering to the floor, with a sound too loud in the oppressive silence. Shadows cast by the unmoving light seemed to flicker, as if stirred by an unseen presence. And the whispers voices just beyond the threshold of hearing, murmuring in a tongue lost to time and sanity. Austin and I shared a look, a mirror of the fear and confusion that churned within. This was no ordinary autopsy, no mundane unraveling of cause and effect. This was a descent into the very heart of darkness, a journey into a night that threatened to swallow us whole. Outside the confines of our morgue, the town's curiosity had curdled into a low hum of fear. Wild tales spun from the loom of imagination filled the air, each more fantastical than the last. A body with no name, no story, no reason for being, had become the canvas upon which the town painted its nightmares. In hushed tones, people spoke of the witch's curse, of the revenge of the forest, of the spirits that roamed the shadowy spaces between the known and the unknown. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with the bloodied hues of an open wound, a collective shiver ran down the spine of the town, a premonition of the darkness to come. Inside the morgue, Austin and I continued our work, the chorus of the town's fears a distant echo behind the drumbeat of our own racing hearts. The body lay still, a testament to the silence of the grave, but within its silence roared a story, a tale of secrets long buried, now clawing their way to the surface, desperate to be heard. With each layer we peeled back, the body seemed to guard its secrets more fiercely. It was as if the very fibers of its being were woven from enigmas and riddles, a tapestry of the unexplained. The anomalies we'd noted were just the beginning. As we delved deeper, the body revealed intricacies that defied not just our understanding, but the very laws of nature as we knew them. The DNA analysis, a routine part of any autopsy, returned results that left us staring at the screen in disbelief. Sequences that hinted at something ancient, something not entirely human, intertwined with the familiar patterns of human genetics. It was as if we were looking at the blueprint of a being born from the union of myth and man. But it was the discovery of artifacts within the body that truly shook the foundation of our reality. Objects that radiated an aura of the arcane, etched with symbols that resonated with the faint markings on the skin. Each piece seemed to pulse with a life of its own, a heart beating to the rhythm of a long-forgotten ritual. The more we uncovered, the more the need to understand gnawed at us. We turned to the town's archives, delving into the dusty tomes and faded records, hoping to find a clue, a thread to grasp in the growing darkness. And it was there, among the tales of the town's founding and the sagas of its settlers, that we found her the witch. A tale as old as the town itself, a story of a woman condemned by fear and ignorance, her very existence a challenge to the patriarchal order of the times. They spoke of her communion with the unseen, her pact with forces beyond the ken of mortals. And they spoke of her vengeance, a curse laid upon the town and its descendants, a promise of retribution that would span generations. The pieces began to fall into place, a terrifying picture emerging from the fragments of the past. The body on the table, the unexplainable phenomena, the artifacts, it was all connected, each a thread in the web of the witch's curse. The knowledge we'd unearthed was a weight upon our souls, a burden that bent us beneath its inexorable truth. And as if in response to our discovery, the world around us began to shift, to warp into a tableau of the surreal. The shadows in the morgue grew longer, stretching their inky fingers towards us, as if to grasp and pull us into their embrace. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices that promised secrets and threatened madness. And the visions, the visions, scenes of a time long past, of the witch's condemnation, her fury, and her curse, played before our eyes like a macabre theater of the damned. Austin and I, bound by blood and this shared nightmare, could only watch as the walls between the natural and the supernatural crumbled before our very eyes. The body, once a silent enigma, now spoke a language of horror and revelation, a testament to the enduring wrath of the witch's vengeance. The revelations unearthed from the town's archives not only cast a new light on our current predicament, but also revealed a chilling personal connection. Among the aged documents, a name recurred with haunting frequency, a name shared by my own forebear. It was a revelation that sent a chill through my spine, the realization that my family line was intricately woven into the tapestry of this curse. The witch, condemned and reviled, had faced her accusers with defiance in her eyes, and among those who had sealed her fate was an ancestor of mine. It was a bitter inheritance, a legacy of fear and retribution that I had unknowingly carried within me. The curse, it seemed, was not just a tale of old, but a living, breathing entity, and it was calling in its debts. The knowledge of our ancestral ties to the witch's curse was a poison that seeped into our very beings. Austin, with the sensitivity of youth, was the first to feel its effects. His dreams were haunted by visions of the witch, her voice whispering secrets in the dead of night, her eyes burning with an unquenchable fire. By day, his demeanor grew increasingly erratic, a mind torn between the tangible world and the spectral realm of the curse. For me, the curse manifested in a more insidious manner. My body, once robust, began to betray me. Aches and pains, subtle at first, grew into a chorus of agony, as if the witch herself were clawing her way into my very flesh. Together, we fought against the encroaching darkness, seeking counsel from those versed in the arcane and the occult. We scoured ancient texts for a counter-curse, a way to sever the ties that bound us to this nightmare. But each attempt, each ritual and incantation, only seemed to draw the witch's ire more fiercely upon us. It was in the midst of our struggle, our desperate search for salvation, that the unthinkable happened. The body, the catalyst of this entire ordeal, vanished from the morgue without a trace. No sign of forced entry, no hint of its whereabouts. It was as if it had simply dissolved into the ether from whence it came. The disappearance was a blow that shook the very foundation of our reality. The body, with all its anomalies and secrets, had been our only tangible link to the curse, our sole lead in the quest to understand, and, hopefully, to end this nightmare. Its absence left us adrift in a sea of uncertainty, with the witch's laughter echoing in our ears, a mocking reminder of our impotence in the face of her wrath. The vanishing of the body left us in a state of desolation, a sense of defeat that permeated every crevice of our beings. The morgue, once a sanctuary of science and understanding, now felt like a tomb, a monument to our failure. The town, too, seemed to sense the shift, an undercurrent of despair running beneath the facade of normalcy. In the quiet moments, when the darkness was too thick to push away, I came to a harrowing realization. The curse was not something to be fought or understood. It was a destiny to be accepted, a fate that had been written in the stars long before our time. The witch, with her centuries-old vengeance, had not just ensnared us, she had become a part of us, her curse flowing through our veins, a symphony of retribution for sins long past. As the days blurred into nights, and the night stretched into an eternity of whispers and shadows, Austin and I found ourselves walking the thin line between reality and madness. The witch's presence was ever present, a specter at the edge of our vision, a voice in the back of our minds. In our last moments of clarity, we made a pact. If the curse was our inheritance, then we would face it together, father and son, bound by blood and shared fate. We would not cower in the face of the darkness, we would meet it head-on, with our heads held high and our hearts defiant. It was in this spirit that we faced our final night. The witch's laughter filled the air, a cacophony of triumph and malice. The shadows in the morgue danced with frenzied glee, and the whispers crescendoed into a roar of ancient fury. And then, there was silence, a hush that fell like a shroud over the world. In the aftermath, the town awoke to a world subtly changed. The morgue stood silent, a testament to the battle that had raged within its walls. Tommy and Austin were gone, their stories etched into the fabric of the town's history, a new chapter in the saga of the witch's curse. But the tale was far from over. In a town far removed, under a sky as unsuspecting as ours had once been, a body was found. No marks, no cause of death, just a silent enigma waiting to be unraveled. And so, the cycle began anew, the witch's vengeance, a never-ending spiral of horror and retribution. The sun rose, indifferent to the change that had swept over our small town. The streets, once buzzing with the mundane chatter of daily life, now carried a silence that spoke volumes. The morgue, a structure that had stood as a testament to the town's resilience, bore the weight of the untold story, its walls guarding the secrets of the night. In the days that followed, people spoke in hushed tones about the events that had transpired. Some refused to believe, clinging to the comfort of logic and reason. Others whispered of the curse, their eyes darting to the shadows, as if expecting to catch a glimpse of the witch's vengeful spirit. But one thing was unanimously clear: Tommy and Austin were gone, their absence a gaping hole in the fabric of the town's soul. As life tried to regain its rhythm, a new figure walked the streets of our town. A stranger, with a burdened look and a purposeful stride, made his way to the morgue. The townsfolk watched, a mix of curiosity and apprehension in their gaze. The stranger, it turned out, was a coroner, sent to fill the void left by Tommy and Austin. But in his eyes, there was a depth of knowledge, a hint of a story yet to unfold. In his hand, he carried a journal, Tommy's journal. The pages, filled with a trembling hand, told the tale of the silent corpse, the witch's curse, and the cycle of horror that seemed destined to continue. The new coroner read, his expression a blend of fascination and fear. And as he turned the last page, he knew that his arrival in the town was no mere coincidence. He was now a part of the story, a player in a game that transcended time and reason.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. We highly recommend you watch the next video here. Oops. I'm waiting for you to click. Yes, you've clicked. Happy watching.